Okay, this is actually war number 5 and we're up against PALØ. Today I'll be taking in a team of Tigra, Kitty and Masacre. I will be having 8 fights this war. I will be taking path 7 in section 1 and path 6 in section 2, as well as the Sersi miniboss on the safeguard node. First up is this man thing on conflictor and power efficiency. I'm gonna be using Masacre for this one, and this is the only fight that I brought him for. The idea here is to only be hitting Man-Thing's block to gain power and go for those big special 2s to take him down. The fight is very slow, but it's also very safe and very easy. Since Masacre is a Defiance champion, you don't have to worry about the global node, mystic dispersion or getting poisoned in the fight. I'm only hitting his block so that he doesn't gain a lot of power, and I avoid putting any debuffs on him. Otherwise I would have to deal with him throwing constant specials. Before I go for the special 2, I hit him a few times to inflict a few incinerate debuffs on him. I do this to lower his block proficiency even further, so that my special 2 does more damage. At this point the fight is basically over. All I need to do is get to my special 2 again, and Man-Thing will go down. Looking back, I probably should have used an advanced power boost for this fight to make it a lot faster. This was actually my first time using Masacre in war, and he did very well. I'm probably gonna use him again. And now for one final special 2 to finish the fight. It's pretty slow, but there's absolutely nothing to worry about. Masacre handles it all. Next up is this vivified Hyperion that I'm gonna be taking with Tigra. The plan is to just go in and out quickly. I will be still using an invulnerability boost just in case. As long as I'll be able to stack up a few rupture debuffs, this Hyperion should go down in one special 2. The plan here is to bait and punish a couple of Hyperion specials with my heavy to stack ruptures and go for a big special 2 to finish the fight. And luckily Hyperion is being very trigger happy with his special button. And yep, that's the fight. As simple as that. Next up I have a couple kitty fights, so I went ahead and put on my recoil masteries, and now I'm putting on my mutant power boosts. This was a pretty expensive war for me. I had to change my masteries 4 times. But I would much rather change my masteries a few times than lose an attack bonus. And now for the Mixmaster Mordo. This is the exact same fight as I had last time. I have the White Magneto pre-fight to help me build prowess as well as to ignore his astral evade. The game plan is to just go for medium light combos to play the Mixmaster node so that he doesn't evade, and also to face his special once so I don't have to trigger decks. Although here I did Dex accidentally. But luckily all I have to do is just parry and wait it out. We see this placement pretty much every war, so you can expect to see me take this fight again and again for the rest of the season. And that's it. Doesn't really get any easier. Next up is another Misty Knight on the Footloose node. The game plan is same as last time. Just build prowess, get to my SP2 and throw it. I can see this being a really annoying placement for other champions, but Kitty is just too good. The scariest part about this fight is gonna be Misty's evade. It almost caught me off guard a few times. It was pretty risky to push Misty to her special 2 here, so if you're ever gonna take this fight, just don't do that. Next up I have 2 Tigra fights. First up is gonna be an Annihilus and the second one is gonna be a Sauron. Neither of them really go according to plan. I did have to take off recoil for these 2. The plan is the same as always. Stack up a few Rupture debuffs and go for a big special 2. Unfortunately I'm gonna mess up the spacing for his special 1 here, which isn't really a big deal, but it did annoy me. So yeah, it wasn't a horrible fight, but it wasn't pretty. Okay, next we have this Sauron. The plan here is to bait 2 heavies from him and punish them with my heavy. That should be enough to get me to my special 2 and to finish the fight. Unfortunately, this fight doesn't really go according to plan either. He goes for the first heavy just fine, but I just can't make him throw the second one. Now that he's getting the unblockable ready pop-up, I decide to stop trying to bait a heavy and instead go for my special 2. Here I could have gone for the miss on his special 1, but it just didn't feel right, so I didn't want to risk it. Next up is this Sassy on Ebb and Flow Intercept. This is gonna be my last kitty fight, and I went and put on full recoil masteries for this one. As well as putting on my mutant power boosts. Again, pretty expensive war. I'm using an invulnerability boost here just as a safety net, since we had a little accident on this node earlier this season. I'm gonna do my best to avoid triggering dexterity in this fight. So I will be facing the first hit of Sassie's SP1 and blocking the second. Usually blocking it is not a good idea because it can trigger a stun debuff through the block. However, Kitty Pryde is stun immune while she is facing, so it does nothing to her. When Sassy enters the Wrath, after I bait a special one from him, instead of punishing it, I first dash back and then dash back in to make sure I'm facing again, so that I do not get clipped by accident. And once it's low enough, I'll just go for my special 3 to finish the fight. And people say Kitty isn't a good counter for him. And my last fight is this Sersi on Safeguard. I will be using Tigra, and I again had to change my mastery so that I didn't have recoil for this. I start the fight by going for a parry and hitting her a few times to trigger the neutralize. This allows me to bait her heavies without her triggering the glancing buff. I bait a few heavies and punish them with mine to stack up rupture debuffs and gain power. Then I just bait her a special one, duck it, and go for my special 2 to finish the fight. And that is my war done. My group ended up beating them 3 to 14, and we ended up winning the war 7 to 26.